So yesterday, so-called game leakers were beginning to hit on their next target, which was Naughty Dog's next game. But before they could do some extraordinary mysterious research, Naughty Dog announced their next game, which is a game they already made 3 years ago. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, only on PlayStation 5, no PC this time too. While hardcore Naughty Dog and The Last of Us Part 2 fans are happy because they are like, look at that roguelike mode, look at those lost levels. They are happy. They are ready to pay any amount for this game. But casual gamers are not, you can say, happy. The problem with Naughty Dog is that they are milking Last of Us way too much. The first Last of Us game was released back in 2013, and then the next year they released it for PlayStation 4. Seems fine. But then they remade it for the PlayStation 5 in 2021, and then ported it a year later for the PC. And then it's the same for Last of Us Part 2. The original game was released in 2020. Now the remake has been released for PlayStation 5, and there's no PC port. Remember, there's no mention of PC ports yet, which means you have to wait 1 or 2 years more for PC ports. So basically, they're just going to remake this game every 2 or 3 years. I can understand the first part because it was originally made for the PlayStation 3. But why did they port Last of Us Part 2? Because that game is barely 3 years old. And remaking 3 years old seems like a greedy tactic too. But not everything is bad about this game. First of all, they are offering a cheap way to upgrade the game. If you own a copy of Last of Us Part 2 for your PlayStation 4, you can upgrade it for just $10. Even though people are not still happy about it, they believe that it should have been free. You can still get your PlayStation 4 disc and play it on your PlayStation 5 if it is backward compatible. But you won't get the feel of a remaster. Let me talk about the game a bit. So, in Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, you get the original game in remastered form. Basically, there is no new addition. But you also get some new features, like some loft levels, a rogue mode, and some collectibles. We all used to think that Rockstar Games was a real greedy man when they were remaking GTA 5 every single year and reliving it again and again and again. But if you really zoom out and think that, not at all. Because the real boss of re-releasing the video game is Naughty Dog. Jak and Daxter, that series has been abandoned. No new game. I love that series, but they just re-release their game when they feel like it. And they haven't released the Uncharted trilogy yet for PC. I don't know if we will ever get it. We'll probably get Uncharted Collection for PlayStation 5 in the future, maybe when Naughty Dog is done milking The Last of Us from Part 2. And they are charging $70 for this game, which I think is a little high because the game is barely 3 years old, as I mentioned, and you are not really remastering it, just rebranding it for a newer platform. So, don't think about why you are charging the highest possible price. And even if we remove that, Naughty Dog really needs to work on their next 2 games, which they have been hyping for about 5 years, which are Last of Us 2 and The Last of Us Part 2 multiplayer game. Now, I don't know what they are going to do with these games, but they should release them for us to know. At least release The Last of Us Part 2 multiplayer, because that idea seems interesting. In my opinion, this practice of re-releasing old games for PC, sometimes for the newer consoles, is fine. Everyone should be allowed to play their favorite games. Like, you should not cage the masterpiece games. Recently, Konami released Metal Gear Solid 5 games, which were only PlayStation exclusive. Now everyone on their PC and Xbox can play it, which is completely fine. But you should have a healthy balance of games, newer games, remakes and ports, and you should be very careful when pricing them. Metal Gear Solid's collection was for about $60, which I think is fine because you're getting 5 games, of which 3 are some of the best games of their generation. So that was a worthy price. There were some problems with Metal Gear Solid's collection, but let's not discuss that. Let's stick to The Last of Us, and the TV show. Neil Druckmann, I believe, doesn't even like making games anymore. He wants to be the new fancy Hollywood producer who wins Emmy Awards. Yeah, the work on The Last of Us TV show by HBO's favorite dude is working very well, and Neil Druckmann is the equity producer. And I know that if this show gets more success, they will just make a shitton of spin-offs. Like, hey, do you want to see a series about this character, and this character? Now, keeping Naughty Dog aside, I want to ask you, what do you think about this whole culture of remastering games? We recently saw the Red Dead Redemption port, and they charged a good amount of money for that. So what do you think about all the pricing and remakes coming out? Do you love them, or do you just want to see newer games? Please comment down on what you think about the situation. And if you enjoy the video, you know what to do. So I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care, and have a nice day.